And now, Lifestyles Unlimited presents the Real Estate Investor Radio Show. Over the next hour, we unfold your map to financial freedom. You'll learn how to retire through investing in single family and multifamily real estate. You'll learn how to create cash flow and build wealth so you can have the time and money to live the lifestyle you want.
Hello and welcome to the show. This is Andy Webb with Lifestyles Unlimited, and as always, we're working on your financial freedom. And boy, you gotta love financial freedom. I know Al Gordon he is off again, traveling, doing something, living the lifestyle somewhere. So I am filling in today for Al on Tell Al Tuesday, and I'm excited to be here. I'm joined today by a very successful investor in my area. You know, Al's down in San Antonio. I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, North Texas. And this investor, we're going to get his story, but I want you to know from the outset, he's done very well in both single family and multifamily. And within that apartment space, he's actually been on all three tracks that we talk about on this radio program. He's done passive investing, is still doing passive investing, independent owner of his own communities, and lead investor. So no matter which direction you plan to go as a real estate investor, this is a guy you want to listen to, and this is a good guy to follow. So Binit, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Andy. Appreciate you for having me over here.
Absolutely. And I've had the pleasure over the years to see you speak at various events. You've done the, multifamily road trips. I actually attended one of the single family road trips at one of your properties.
And, the duplex.
Yes, exactly right. Yep. The duplex you had just bought. It was, it was in a state of disarray, as these things tend to be, but you always do a very good job of presenting information. And like I said, you're a wealth of knowledge because you've been doing this as long as you have. We may come back to that duplex, but before we get there and before we get to the apartments, I just like the listener to understand a little bit of everybody's background, because everybody comes from a different place. And when you wind up at Lifestyles Unlimited, we all effectively get on one of two paths, single family, multifamily, but headed for financial freedom. Before you got there, what were you doing in your past life, let's say?
Well, in the past life, I have done quite a few things. I have actually, my personal, I don't want to share much, but I'll share again. But I started my life with the $3.35 an hour. Okay, that's one of my starting point over here in the U.S., right? We moved to U.S. in 1996 for my education and got my undergrad done, first undergrad in business computer information system. Unfortunately, market was very tight to get into the corporate world. So I continued my education in my second undergrad with logistics, supply chain management, hoping that I have a broader knowledge of, business and at the same time IT. Hopefully I'll land a job. So I did land a job, and that job was in basically operations, sales and operations manager, expanding the business for existing, wireless company. They used to open stores and provide service to single wireless back in the days. And so I was involved in their opening new stores for them, new areas. So I learned a lot in 2 years time frame. Opened almost 10 brand new stores for them in Georgia area. They expanded in Georgia, so they shipped me to Georgia after training in Texas. And I was there for 2.5 years. And I was learning a lot, and I did pretty good. I always hit my numbers, maxed out numbers, getting bonus. But I was thinking that, this is something that I'm good at. I can do myself. But at the same time, there was no path for me to do it myself. It was not like someone said, hey, let's go do this way. You can be successful. But at that time, I realized that the company will not provide anything. In my contract, there has never been a partnership or sharing or any kind of asset control some asset over there, like future. Doesn't matter if I work for 20 years, right? I said that's not what I want, because if I'm going to be giving 20 years of my life to a company, I want something in return. Because if I want to build your business, I should have some stake, right?
Yeah, so but there's no upside, right?
No upside. I mean, there is a bonus is one time, but again, if I leave the job today, no bonus, nothing. But
what do you have? Yeah, you're out.
Nothing. So then I decided to go back to IT and start, exploring over there, because IT background, all my friends and families in the IT background as well. So we thought, if I have some IT experience, maybe we'll just go into software business and we'll start, because back in the day, software business was booming. But again, we had good ideas. To be honest, Andy, myself and my brother, we started like a Facebook situation in 2000, okay? And we were able to successfully expand that within the college. And we were thinking that nationwide college. So we had ideas, but we had no support system, right? The support system was missing with good ideas also. So when you have no support system, your ideas are worth $0, right? But we were looking for that mentor who can actually guide us, right? And actually, it took me a long time to find that mentor to put me on a path of success, okay? So, yeah, I mean, after doing operation and sales, and I went to, project management position, and I managed projects for IT company, implementation, development, upgrades, all those things were happening. But again, I was hitting dead end. Again, because there's no growth. I mean, there's no one's going to give you saying, hey, you are a fantastic worker, great worker. Let me give you some ownership. No way, right?
Yeah.
All you're going to get your 401k, and if you have extra money left, you put in the IRA and move on. But yes, definitely only 8 to 5. You don't have to worry about anything else. But that's what was my life before.
Yeah, you're a corporate guy, right? You're a corporate guy. I think your bio said for a good dozen years. It's a long time, seeing that dead end.
I hated those years. I hated those years. I think like I should be, what I'm thinking that I should have been Lifestyles member in 2000 or 2003, 2004, 2005. And now I can go to corporate world, provide them consulting a few hours a week and make money, right?
Just for fun. Yeah. If you want to do that, if that's your idea of fun, hey, be my guest, but you did find Lifestyles.
Well, I'm just saying because now I have no worries about retirement because I'm already retired. You want to pick my brain, I can let you pick my brain and pay me for that, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking for someone.
Absolutely. By the way, where did you come from?
I'm from Nepal.
Okay. Yeah, we have a lot of people that immigrate to the U.S. and eventually pick up the real estate hat because they see, very entrepreneurial, right? And they see the vision, they see the opportunity there, and you saw that as well once you got the support system and found that mentor. I heard you say that in the first segment, and I think that's probably important. But, you leverage that to get out of that corporate dead end. How did you find Lifestyles?
Oh, man, it's a funny story. I cannot still believe. Sometimes I feel like my luck and my destiny had it all planned out. So I was working for this company, IT company, and we had this new gentleman join and had a meeting with him. And he was working this upgrade project, and I was project manager. So we're just looking at all these 100 different hospitals. We were going to deploy certain things. And I was always, after the meeting, I got frustrated. I'm like, man, I just do this all day, same thing, and I'm just frustrated. This is not what I want. I mean, I want something else. I want something big, something that I can utilize my, skills and grow big. Provide some support system for my, my family if I have to leave my job or something. So he said, you know what, man, tonight is the night. He said, tonight is the night. I'm going to take you someplace. You will thank me for that. And I'm like, man, don't take me some junk place. I'm going to go home. I have a new, 2-year-old baby. My wife will be waiting. She's going to come from work, and she'll be tired. I got to help as well. He said, man, just tell your wife, I just need to borrow you for 2 hours, okay? And I'm like, okay, that's fine. We'll make a deal. And I figure out my house is very close to the office, actually. So he was bringing me to Lifestyles case study. Uh-huh. And I said, you know what? Oh, it's on my path of home. So you know what? I'll do it. It's not like I'm going against that, further away from my home. And I went there. Thank God I did that. That's one small, that's just one, and I never knew about Lifestyles before. Nothing. I had zero idea.
Okay.
I came there. I had never heard the radio because I'm always, self-contained. I'm thinking of myself. I'm the smartest one. I can do things. So I don't have to worry about listening to anybody and following anybody. So I was doing my own math, thinking about I'm going to open this business, that business. So I could have been dead by now if I had done that. And so he took me out there, but I did not believe that story, when I got the case study. But I never, I did network with a few people. I made some successful leads that time, and I went, back to work. And I'm thinking, I don't know if I can do it. I mean, that's lots of money, man. Apartment complex, these are millions of dollars, this and that. And I could not put my hand I couldn't wrap things around because I was doing my own, I had done retail business where I put my own money, $200,000 to start the business, right? So I'm thinking the same way that, okay, you guys are going to tell me go buy this apartment. It's going to cost you $2 million to go buy it, right? But that was not the case because I had not attended the 2-day seminar, right? So I was in this dark area, and he kept telling me, "You should do it, man. You should do it. You're going to be doing." But he was doing passive investment that time, right?
Okay.
So, but he was just doing small passive investment, with some of the leads there. But he encouraged me, and I'm like, after a year passed, and I got laid off because I was just tired. I'm like, okay, I got to leave, I got to leave. I got to do something. I don't care if I have to stay home for 6 months of doing nothing, but I got to leave because this is my dead end. I mean, I'm not going to be able to survive like this. And I was working 40 hours, but doing my job in 10 hours. I could complete my work in 10 hours. But corporate world, you need to be there because they can ping you anytime, say, hey, provide this report. So I go to my quarterly meeting and monthly meetings and the CEO and CFOs, and we'll plan everything out, right? But again, I'm not a CFO. I'm a CEO, right? I could not get there because dead end. There is a director. Unless the director passes away, you can't be the new director unless that person leaves. But long story short, that day I came in, and thank God I came because after 1 year, I was still struggling to find a place to go. What do I do? Diamond business, retail business, export-import business, medicine business. And my wife's like, you had gone there and you paid that money, like $250 I paid for the 2 days class, and that I was expiring on the last weekend. I said, you know what? Let me tap into that because I'm so stingy. I'm like, man, I paid that money and I have not got anything back from this guy. Let me see what is there. Man, thank God I was stingy because if I had let that thing go, I would never have been come back.
You'd have missed it.
Class with David, David's class, and I took that class and I saw that this simple math that just opened my mind right away. I'm like, I'm done. Okay, let's go.
Man, so it took you a long time to draw that conclusion, which is unfortunate because you and I both know what's a common regret of investors. Well, I didn't do it sooner, right?
Absolutely.
But you did it.
I sometimes you have to be hit in the head until you come to realize it. So I tell people, don't wait. I mean, if you have come to the case study, if you have heard something about it, dig a little deeper. Don't ignore it. But my timing was kind of a situation, just to be honest. I mean, I was working. My wife was working. We were making good money. So it was not like something I was looking to make more money, but looking to have a better life, right? Because I knew the dead end job's if they lay me off, if I quit my job, there's nothing next day. So I was just trying to build because my personality is like that. I could not stand still one place and do the same job every day, over and over. I want to be exploring and finding new things and doing new things. So, and I was just still thinking, do I leave now? Do I not leave? Because I did not want to have a job and trying to start a business because I believe myself that if you don't put 200% of your energy in any of the business, you will not be successful, right? So I did not really, start because once I got laid off, actually it was planned laid off, I feel like, I'm free now. I can do 200%. So I told my wife, you continue working. I'm going to go start with lifestyle, right? I'm going to start investing. I'm going to start learning. I'm going to put 2 years over here if I have to see where it takes me, right? And she said, go for it. And I was so stingy to pay the membership fee initially. I'm like, do I have to pay? I'm like, okay, pay.
It's funny, but you're willing to give up the job to focus the time, so you're giving up all this money on the side anyhow, but hey.
And I'm like, okay, I'm already not getting a paycheck, right? So I'd rather just go ahead and start over here and learn. And, when I saw so many good faces, I mean, people successful, enjoying life, and, I dipped into there. I'm like, oh, my God, this is crazy.
Yeah, you found that support system.
Oh, my God, it was amazing, man. So I tell you the truth.
Let me just interject here real quick, Binit. I don't want the listener to take the wrong message away here because you chose to leave that job that you hated anyhow and focus 100% of your time on real estate. That is not by any means anything most members do. You mentioned your friend that brought you from the corporate world to lifestyles. He was investing passively while working. That's what most of us do, right?
Yes,
so
yes.
just to
and
be
again,
clear.
different people have different things because I had a mindset to do something different, right? So I took a different kind of a path. But that doesn't mean, anybody should be quitting their job because I tell my passives, don't quit your job. Make the money, invest, juice your corporate world as much as you can because you're going to bring the money and invest. Once you have finished investing and you figure out that you have cash flows coming, quit, right? So It's a different path. I'm talking from, lead perspective right now, not from the passive. So
quick break. We're going to head into the middle of the show here. When we come back, let's get into those first investments because you moved really fast once you got moving. So we want to hear about that.
Got questions? Call Lifestyles Unlimited at 855-497-4335. The Real Estate Investor Radio Show continues next.
Well, one thing it has meant for us, and we have to compliment you. You've given us our time back. And I say our time because we got married 33 years ago, and we got married in July. Do you know why? Well, that was before I met Lifestyles. I used to work for Ford Motor Company. And with Ford Motor Company, I was in the automotive division. They have shut down during July, the first 2 weeks of July. So
you had to wait for a shutdown to get married?
Yes.
Yes, he actually.
Whoa, that's dedication there.
He made me change our wedding date. It was supposed to be June 15th, and I changed.
Wow, that's amazing.
So if I had been in Lifestyle, I could have gotten married when I wanted to.
And the ring would have been bigger.
Ready to get your time back like Vivian and Cornell? Register for the free online workshop at lifestylesunlimitedworkshop.com.
Creating the lifestyle you've always wanted. You're hearing Lifestyles Unlimited's Real Estate Investor Radio Show.
Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Andy Webb. I am filling in today for Al Gordon on Tell Al Tuesday. If you have any questions, you can send those to me. My email is askandy@luinc.com. Again, askandy@luinc.com. And I'm joined by Binit today. He's also here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area where I sit. And Binit, we didn't really name any dates, but looking at your bio, it says you joined Lifestyles, finally went to that 2-day, right? And actually joined then in September of 2014. And I mentioned going into the break that, boy, once you got over that initial hump of really kind of just not paying attention at all, not looking at the group, joining and sitting around, then you really went fast. And in fact, it says that you got into your first passive investment 2 weeks after finally committing, right? So how did that go?
Oh, that it was a game changer, actually. So once I got that passive investment done, I saw the potential, that my small money can make lots of money, right? Because the group is a tremendous power, the power of the group and also the leveraging, right? That really put me in a path of thinking that, this is where I belong. This is what I can do. I can use my energy, my quality, my experience, and come out here and make my life better, right? I don't have to worry about thinking that, I'm sitting on the desk and now what to do now. I'm actually planning 3 years, 4 years ahead of the game, right? So what I want to do, how I'm going to execute, what I want to learn, whom I want to meet. So the power of networking, power of leverage, power of mentoring, and education really put me in a different path within a week to 2 weeks. And that's why I started exploring. So I think I can learn to be a lead as well, not only the passive, right? So I start, knocking doors of mentors constantly. Show me more.
Yeah, use the resources. Right? Sure, yeah. Absolutely. You should use those resources. Too many people don't, by the way.
I mean, to be honest, that's the biggest disadvantage. Lots of people don't realize that it's you who has to take the step. Dell or the mentors cannot come and knock your door because that's not their job to knock your door. They are there to you go knock their door and learn as much as you can. Because if you're not going to learn something, then you can't be successful, and you got to ask the questions. Don't be shy. Any question is a good question, right? I was asking some questions that I never thought I would be asking. I'm like, oh, man, that's the dumbest question. But that was the best question for me,
Yeah.
And asking, hey, can I do this one? I was scared to even ask, can I be a lead? And thank God I asked for that, right? When I asked, I said, yes, you can be a lead. You got to show your strength, what you can do. I mean, learn all these things right here. And, within a few months, I'm ready. Right, I'm learning every day, trying to make sure that I have the right information and looking how to search for property, how to operate, how to manage, how to keep the books, how to keep all the taxes done. I mean, the whole 9 yards was taught within the 3 months period, right?
Yeah, you learned that through the education at Lifestyles, you mean?
Yeah, at Lifestyles. I mean, we went through a step-by-step process, and that really boosted my confidence right away that, yes, it is, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and I think we can do it. And I picked up the first property, and from there, I never had to look back. I mean,
You did. I mean, to my point, you went very fast. You got in that first passive investment in 2 weeks. That means you understood. You saw, right? You said yourself, you saw the numbers and wow, realized. And you said something in an earlier segment. You said, millions of dollars to invest in an apartment complex. It doesn't take that when we're syndicated, when we're putting together these investments for passive to participate. I mean, Binit, I got in one for, I think, $25K. I've seen investors do less. Some do more, right? Some do more.
Hey,
but
I just closed a deal, 230 units. Right, 320 units. I'm a little dyslexic sometimes, so I think differently.
Gotcha.
320 units. And my lowest one, I don't want to tell everybody that's how it's supposed to go, but I had an investor who, say, hey, I got 20K, man. I know your number is high, but I have known him. I say, you know what? I'm okay. I can bring 20K. Bring it.
Yeah. What was the purchase price on that?
The purchase price, $50 million.
Wow. But here you got somebody participating with 20K. I think that's the point.
Yeah.
And I know you've gotten some really. So let's talk about that. You did that first lead investment, not even 3/4 of a year after getting into that first passive opportunity. Fast forward, you've done quite a few lead deals, and you just mentioned you closed on your latest one. How many is that now? How many have you done as a lead?
I mean, as a lead, 7 syndication.
Okay.
And then I have done 3 small properties, me and my brothers, that's like IRO.
Yep.
I have done, multiple, like 8, I think, as a KPI supported the deal. And I also provided, as passive as well. And, done multiple passive. So I've been fortunate enough to make sure that I made the good decision at the right time. You got to get in there and constantly invest time to learn and find the deals and get the job done, because you got to find what you like, right? So I knew what I want, and I knew what areas I want to invest. So you get to learn that by attending all the case studies, because you can see the results from different areas, and you got to pick your poison, like which one is the best for me, right? And you can continue investing in, because if number works, it's all good. As a passive, I don't care to invest anywhere in the nation. I don't mind investing, but as a lead, I just stayed in local because I like to touch and feel the property, right? But overall, I did not stop investing. Any money that came back to me as a refinance or sale, I'll redeploy that within few months. I'll be stand by finding a deals where I'm going to spend. I'm going to send the money right away.
Yeah.
And same thing with my investors over here in this new deal. They figure out that we'll have a deal coming up, and they knew about the deals. I'm putting the project together, and they had timelines saying, you know what, we are liquidating this right here, and I'm going to turn that money over here right away, right? Defer my taxes, get my depreciation, and write off the stuff and not pay taxes and move on, right? So people are lining up to make sure that you just flip the money from here to here and continue getting a cash flow. So that's what I plan out, figure out the path. I figure out the perfect way to continue investing, and that's because the mentors provided us support. Education. I mean, I'm sometimes I get tired of getting all this education, like so much education from Lifestyles, man. I'm like, every day there is something you guys are feeding us, and I'm like, oh my God, some more information. Here you go. I have not even opened my browser, and I'm getting fed with the new information every day, right? I mean, that's like a luxury. I wake up and I have new information to learn without even calling anybody, right? Because that's the system that people don't realize sometimes, that information that comes from Lifestyles.
Aside from investing passively, and that means just putting your money in the investment, sitting back, and aside from investing as a lead, which is a syndicator, you're kind of like the project manager controlling the investment. You're also an IRO, and that stands for independent rental owner. That's just doing your own thing without investors. You're the sole owner, or maybe you have a partner. Great way to go. So a couple of terms that the listener may not know, but we do talk about that going back to education. That's something you become very much fluent in as a member at Lifestyles Unlimited. So great stuff. You really have done it all. And I want to ask you, we heard, what has it been? You joined about 9 years ago. You've done 7 investments where you are the lead. You're still hanging on to 6 of those, if I'm reading this correctly.
Yeah.
That seems like a challenge. How are you managing 6 different apartment communities right now?
Well, that's what happens when you have proper guidance, proper knowledge, and if you buy the right product, you can continue, because our goal is to defer the taxes as long as we can. Definitely that's not the practice everybody should be doing, but if one can handle it, definitely, because these are smaller properties, And they actually, once you fix them, once you operate them well, they cash flow and you can refinance. So lots of people don't realize the power of refinancing, cash out refinance.
No taxes on that refinance, right?
Absolutely. That's the beauty. I mean, like the first property that I have bought, we have already distributed more than 450% return, and I'm doing 20% cash and cash return. If I sell that deal today, right, I'll get 200% more return to my investors, but then we have to do the 1030 exchange or pay the taxes. But we don't worry about paying taxes because we buy a new deal and we defer our taxes again by taking the depreciation, right?
Yep.
But I figure out these are self-sustained properties. So this is a unique situation. I'm not telling everybody to do what I have done because these are unique product, not like regular, transaction products. Because I happen to know the residents, I happen to know everything about the product, and we have enough money always saved up. So basically, I restart the, point. So we go through a cycle. Instead of selling it, we refinance it, right? And then we restart again, refinance, because we put a little bit of money back into the deal just to continue maintaining the deal. So instead of just buying a new product, right, we just recycle the same product constantly and put money out. Defer the taxes forever, keep cash flowing, right? And, when you have a good team, and that comes out of it, do you have a good team in your pocket that can operate the property, right? If you don't have a good team, then nothing is possible. Nothing is possible. Everything will be all impossible. It doesn't matter if you just buy one property or 10 properties. You cannot be successful unless you have a good team. When the properties are doing very, very well, and we know we have a time, and we have a good loan, right? So if you have a 5 to 7 years loan, and if you can cash out majority of the money, and luckily for me, I've been cashing out more than 100% of the equity, right? That's what we put. So all of those properties are free. Standing out there, we're just cashing out every day. Only last 2 properties that right now we have are not cashed out. Otherwise, every single property has been cashed out. Some of the properties, we'll definitely liquidate, but we have to wait for the timing. You don't want to just rush and sell something just because you want to sell.
My first apartment investment as a passive, we sold after, I think it was like 16 months, 100% some change return. Yeah. I mean, that's fine. That fit that model, that fit that location.
Because we have made enough money. And to be honest, if I just reinvest that money right now, I don't have to worry about anything. I can just take off today and fly around the world.
Good plans. Yeah, you're from Nepal. If you go home, it's kind of hard to manage a property from Nepal if you go over there to visit, isn't it?
Very true. I mean, the time difference, 11 hours, right? Yeah. So actually, I was in Nepal back in March. Unfortunately, I had an incident in our family, but I still had to operate. So I'll stay up till 4 in the morning, working, and then I'll go to bed at 4 in the morning. Yeah. Sometimes 5 in the morning because that's all day here. So I have to support the system, right? But not every day. But I'm always a person who wants to be, engaged, unfortunately. So we have camera systems, we have everything, we have, phone works over there, but you had to stay up all night to provide that support. So now when I retire 100%, I mean, it's just being passive. I don't have to worry about, those parts. So passive is the way to go. Yeah.
Very good. Just a quick aside before we head to the end of the show. We were traveling in Nepal, my wife and I. We actually leased one of our single family. Yeah, we leased one of our single family houses from over there. It can be done. It's a little tough in the middle of the night, but hey, Binit, wow, you have a lot of energy and a lot of information, and I love talking with you. And I look forward to seeing you on one of our next single family or even multifamily road trips. I know you do both. And I love that you give back. I thank you for doing that, and thank you for joining us today. To the rest of you, have a great day.
The information and opinions you hear on the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show are those of the hosts, guests, and callers. The Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show is for entertainment purposes only. Please consult a professional regarding your personal investment needs. Nothing presented constitutes an endorsement, recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or security.